you always take a lot away. You look at film and dissect it, but each game's its own identity, and that's the cool thing about playing in league is you get 2 shots at teams, and mostly other than 2 teams, and so you learn a lot about them. You learn a lot, but then it's just a matter of who goes out and plays well.
You've only played 4 games since then. I mean, is it weird?
It is weird. Yeah, the schedule. Sometimes it's like I don't know how they come up with like usually in the old days you'd go through the whole cycle and then you'd play another team, but it seems like we just played them actually. But that was last year, I guess. Where's Jay? Tell Jay it's 2023.
Did he mess that up?
He keeps putting 2022 on some of his stuff. Yeah, on the checks that he writes me.
Max, as Coach mentioned, 4 games since then. Where do you think the team has grown the most since the 4 games we've played?
I think everyone's just kind of playing good together right now. I think we're more efficient than we were back when we played them last time. Just offensively, I think we've gotten a lot better. And I think they're playing better too. Their last game against Utah State, they played really well offensively. So it should be a high-scoring game, and I'm excited to get after it tomorrow.
Why do you think the offense has been so much better the last 3 or 4 games?
Just listening to what Duryea says, more kind of less ISO and more kind of just running plays. And then I think Lucas has been doing a really good job in pick and roll, really setting screens and causing havoc in there too. So I just think we're just kind of gelling as the season goes on, and we're still kind of getting used to playing together because, I mean, Booz is new here, and I think he's really coming along. He's been shooting lights out from 3 and stuff like that. So I think everything's gelling together, and it's working really well right now on the offensive end. So,
Max, how do you feel about the opportunity to play for first place tomorrow?
It's a great feeling. I think it's where we belong. I think we're playing really well, and so are they. So it's a great matchup, and I hope we can sell this place out again because I think it really affects the outcome of the game, and I think we play better when this place is sold out. So I hope everyone can get out here and come watch a great matchup tomorrow night.
Yeah, after the game, Najee said at least to him, it is a big deal. It doesn't seem like a lot of people are talking about you guys nationally, and you guys weren't picked to win the league again after you won last year. And he said that at least for him has been a little bit of a motivating factor in some of these games. Do you get a sense at all with the team that you guys got something to prove, I guess?
That might be amongst them, I think we do it like I think I talk about it a lot. We just do it, especially this early in the year. That's for later, all these, I have people come up to me and say, yeah, they don't have you in the tournament. And I'm pretty sure the committee hasn't gotten together yet and selected a tournament. So Twitter doesn't have us in, and so I just laugh at that. I mean, we got a lot of work to do, and so does everybody else, and a lot's going to happen in the next 2 months in college basketball, and teams are going to win, teams are going to lose, teams are, but it's not. When you look at it, it's not one game. If it was, there'd be so many teams eliminated. I mean, there's a team in the top 25 that got beat by 40 in a game, 40, and. So that one game doesn't ruin their season or make their season. It's just, but a lot of people react that way to a lot of little micro bursts or here and there. We're trying to be in it for the long run, but yet the short term of what we have to do, and it's been our formula. And we got a huge one tomorrow. As far as they all are in league. And everybody's battling, and this league is, it's got to be super entertaining for fans, we had a team that was 11-1 in preseason, and they're in 10th place right now. I mean, they're good, and they're, doesn't mean they'll be in 10th place when the dust all settles. There's a lot of dust to still settle, but that shows you how good our league is, and that's why every night's a battle, and every night's going to be interesting in this league. And we're enjoying that, embracing it, and seeing what the next challenge is. And today it's to get ready for it's going to be a tough game tomorrow.
Nevada was picked, I think, either 7th or 8th to start the league. They're tied for first with you in San Diego. Why are they there? Why have they played so
well? First of all, I saw this coming as far as, because I know Coach Alford. Great coach, and he's got guys that are, you can tell they're being coached and they're accepting coaching, doesn't mean he wasn't coaching last year. It's just the guys probably didn't accept it. There's a big difference. You can have the greatest plans and be the greatest coach, but if the players won't be coachable, then it doesn't do you any good. And he's got a group that looks like they're playing together. They play hard. They play great defense, and they're coachable. That's what it looks like from. I'm not in their huddles. And it wasn't last year either, but or at their practices. But that's what it looks like from the outside, because I've always had the most respect for him, and from the days of his New Mexico teams. I mean, I got to see it up close and personal, and so I'm not surprised.
Max, what's allowed you to be so good from 2 this year? Whether it's you getting in the paint, sometimes backing guys down, or just hitting a floater.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference between this year and last year is just slowing down in there. The coaches have been on me to just really take my time and get the shot I'm looking for, and if someone helps, find the open shooter, and if they don't, I should be able to just kind of lay it in. And I think you kind of saw a little bit of that last game, because I kind of just slowly got him in there and just made a couple hook shots that felt kind of easy, but I think that's just the biggest difference is my timing and knowing when to shoot the 3 and knowing when to pump fake and go get in the lane.
Max, you mentioned Buzo starting to shoot lights out, or has been shooting lights out through this season. He had a really great start to the second half at Wyoming. What's the kind of spark that you can bring to this team?
Yeah, during the game yesterday or a couple days ago, he's like, I'm a second half player. Like, I feel like I play a lot better in the second half. And I was like, well, that's a good mindset to have, because it's really working for you right now. I think you saw in both our last 2 games, he's kind of been a huge spark in the second half. Against UNLV, he had 2 and 1 threes in a row, and then against Wyoming, I think he hit 2 or 3 threes too. So I think it's just nice to have a second half player like that who can kind of push you over the edge, and there's really no drop off from the first half when you have a guy like that coming out aggressive.
He got here over the summer, the last 6 months or whatever. What have you learned about Buzo as a person, and then a player on the court?
Yeah, that's a good question. He's a really good team guy, great locker room guy. I love hanging out with him, and I've only heard good things about him from Texas Tech dudes and everything like that. And I think he's the perfect piece we were missing, and that we needed to fill in this year, losing Abu, E-Man, and all those guys. So I think it's just been a really good transition for him. And I think this is what he's always dreamed about doing, like coming out here, starting, playing, averaging 13 a game. I mean, who wouldn't want to do that in a high-level program like Boise State? So I'm just really happy for him and all the success he's had so far this year.
Najee said to Bob and Abe after the Wyoming game that he took the Nevada game personal. Why do you think he said that?
I'm not sure. You'd have to ask him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Will Baker obviously being able to shoot from the outside. What does that do to the matchup? That's when you worry about Blackshear and Lucas and these guys, and then he's there at the top of the key wherever, just looking, you can shoot the 3 ball.
Yeah, he's having a great year, and he's been terrific down the stretch of all their games, and he has been the player I think they thought they were getting, and the reputation that he had. So, yeah, anytime your 5 can shoot it like that, it creates big problems for defenses, and I think that I had that epiphany a long time ago when we played TCU in here. I don't know if you remember that. It was our first Mountain West win, and they had a 5-man that could shoot, and I remember thinking, God, that is so hard to guard. If we can, and then the Nick Duncan era came, and we were really hard to guard that way. And you look at the way we are with Tyson and Naj and those guys, it just makes the floor so big and stretches you out so much. It's a valuable thing to have.
Maybe what Rachel was getting at, I mean, obviously Najee fouled out in that game, wasn't able to play at the end of the game when the game was decided. Him and Tyson, I mean, do you think there's something extra for this game for them not being able to be out there at the end last time they played in Nevada?
I don't know. That would be that I don't speak for them. They, I don't know. I think when you're in a league like this and you're trying to compete for championships, do you need I mean, we don't rise up for those things. We have the way of preparing, and I don't. That stuff is kind of sometimes cliche stuff, and yeah, they want to be out there, no doubt. That's obvious. They're mad they fouled out, but I don't think that's it's not some rah-rah speech that's going to win us the game, or that extra motivation, or that's for it's our team stuff and the stuff that we care about, and these guys care about the right stuff. They play the right way, and so, but sometimes guys need different things, I guess. But again, like I said, I can't speak for them on that.
The way your offense has been clicking, like if you take like the whole game, how many possessions or percentage like are you guys running set plays that Coach Duryea is calling out, and then how many times is it just like a free flowing thing?
Yeah, a lot of free flowing, and then we never run a set play after a miss. So it's so only after makes, or sometimes after timeout, sometimes not at all. It's the system, different ways to direct the ball, different ways to bucket stealers, that kind of stuff. So
Max, can you describe what it's like to play here when it's full and you've got the crowd behind you?
Yeah, I think it's one of the louder gyms in the Mountain West, just because, I don't know, it just seems like everyone's kind of on top of you. It kind of has that San Diego State feel too, just like everyone's right on top of each other. So, and I think we got some really good loud fans this year, especially, and just playing in that environment, man. I think you could just feel the energy, and it really gets you going. And I think you saw that last home game against Utah State, and I feel like if you were at that game, who wouldn't want to come back again? Like it was a great environment, and it was a little chippy, but it was fun, and I hope we get that again tomorrow night.
I talked to Leon about this last week, about you guys playing, I guess, as your brother Brock. I think so you guys are still playing games like as a family, and it's you and Brock.
It's me and Max.
Me and Max against Brock and Cade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I guess from your perspective, talk about some of these family matchups that are still kind of going.
We've never lost.
Yeah, well, basically he usually just gives me the ball. We run a pick and roll. They'll double me, and I'll hit him for the little midi, because he's usually automatic from about 5 to 10 feet.
That is 15 to 20.
No, anything beyond 10 feet, it's going to be short. But he's got a nice mid-range jumper, and then I could just go score on Brock whenever I want, so that's easy too.
Then they double team him and they're in trouble. So there's no answer. They can't fix it.
Yeah, so easy dubs.
Cade's gotten a lot harder to guard in the last year. I'm not sure. I'm not sure I can keep him off the boards anymore.
And there's no fouls, right?
Well, we haven't had one called yet, so
no fouls.
No, not yet. Someday I'll have to start calling them.
How cool is it, Max, to have your brother on the team right now? And I'm sure it's like something you could have dreamed about, to share this experience together.
Yeah, it's really nice having him on the bench cheering us on, and then in practice, it's fun guarding him. Sometimes we get into it a little bit, or if he scores on me, I'll hear about it for the next week. But I'll usually just take foul. I'll foul him just to make sure he doesn't score. But it's really nice to have him around. He's always positive, great team guy also, and he really wants to be good. He wants to play eventually, so I hope he can do that. But it's awesome having him around. Just having this family atmosphere is great, and as long as we're winning, everything's good. So.
How scrappy was that kind of matchup growing up between you and your brothers, like going out in just the backyard court?
Well, playing against my older brother, it always toughened me up, because he's a big guy. He's a lot stronger than I am, so I'd have to find ways around him to score and try to just bully him in the post. But it's been great. He's taught me a lot about just being a more physical player and kind of keeping my head, because usually it ended in a scrap, but just growing up and maturing, realized it probably made me a better player in the long run, and prepared me for playing bigger, more physical guys. So.
Yeah, and his mom is the one that credit for his driving and scoring too. She was always on him about that in high school.
That's true.
She's like, he needs to drive more. He needs to drive more. So she started that a long time ago.
It's true.
Yep. Good.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Wouldn't you want to